on his right now. Oh, we got a bit of a false start, but I don't know, I'm not hearing any audio, so I guess you're just going to have to handle that. But yeah, so this is the start of the race, and we immediately start with a 19-second unskippable cutscene. So the basic premise of this game is you are Kaho, who has to break a curse. We have our basic functions are we have a jump, we have a roll, we have a melee attack, and we have a range attack. We will also be getting some items later on that will be used throughout the run. The biggest piece of movement tech in this game is you'll see occasionally our players will do a roll into the air, which is the aptly named roll jump, which is when you input a roll and a jump at the same time. It gives you the speed and invulnerability of a roll, which is faster than normal movement, while also giving you the verticality of a jump. So it'll be used quite a bit throughout the run, especially at about the 10 to 12 minute point of the run. After that point, you'll see it a lot more. So this first area is probably the most RNG intensive area of the game, just because these little imp guys are annoying.
Just say the least.
Yeah. They're a minor inconvenience in on easy difficulty, which is the difficulty that this tournament is in. But on harder difficulties, and particularly the insane difficulty, where everything is an instant kill, they are just the worst. So as we're going through this area, you'll notice that the runners have been picking up these chests for this currency. I believe it's called money. They need 80 money total in order to buy a single item that will be coming later. heyyyhoooo now is, well, I guess they're both on the first boss here.
She decided to dance.
Yeah. Okay, so what just happened there was Idea, the first boss, has a quick kill, which I'm really confused what's happening right now. Everything seems to be like getting delayed
so fast.
and whatnot. But anyway, so I'm not exactly 100% sure how the quick kill works, but if you can get the quick kill, obviously it saves a bunch of time. So heyyyhoooo just got the item that we're gonna buy, and Doublestop is just doing it now. It's an item called the Crystal Seed, which is for a limited amount of time, it increases your damage by 50%. So it will be used quite a bit throughout the run to get extra damage on the bosses, which coming up pretty quickly onto the second boss, which is probably the most infamous boss in this game. For anyone who knows anything about this game, you probably know this boss, not Mocha.
Mocha is actually the final boss of this game. He's like,
yeah, Mocha probably causes the most run resets in this game, just because he is very annoying and jumps around a lot. So in this game, every boss drops a special item, but only if you don't take any damage from the boss. So if you take damage from a boss, then you don't get the item. And pretty much every item that the bosses drop in this game are ones that are needed for the run. heyyyhoooo getting really good luck on Lubella. I think Doublestop's doing pretty good as well. Lubella can also... Okay, so pretty much every boss in this game has some sort of attack that we don't want to see from them because it's very slow and you just lose time because there's nothing you can do. Thankfully, at least on the first fight against Lubella, you fight her twice. Neither of our runners got the dive from her, which is when she dives off the screen for a pretty good amount of time and you just can't do anything to her.
It's about 12 seconds of time loss that you can't do anything about it, sadly.
Yeah. So now both of them are on to another cutscene, just the longest cutscene in the game. basically meeting this character that is normally pretty like important to the story, but we don't care about story here because we're speedrunning. So she's just an unavoidable time loss. So one thing to I should point out, because these guys are going so fast that I just can't keep up with anything. The item we got from the first boss, the Idea's Pearl, is a pretty interesting item because what it does, it gives our arrows the a poison attack property on the arrows. But unlike most games where the poison is just like directly injected into the enemy, in this game it creates a poison cloud. Now the interesting thing about that poison cloud is that you can poison yourself on it, which makes the boss fights that much more difficult, because if you get poisoned, then it counts as taking damage, which means that you won't get the item. So that's probably one of the biggest things about at least the early game boss fights is just not poisoning yourself in addition to not getting hit by them. The item we got from the second boss fight, which the Lubella fight, is the Bachman patch, which is probably the best item in this game, let's be honest.
Like, it's the most important, at least for speedrunning, I guess.
Yeah.
Because of the shortcut.
Yeah, so it's a very strong item for bosses in general, but it also has some utility that we'll be using near the end of the run in order to help speed up the run. It is a very essential item. There's a couple items in a couple boss items that aren't necessarily like, if you get them, you're gonna lose some time, or if you don't get them, you're gonna lose some time, but you can live without them. The Bachman patch is not one of those items. So you see the Bachman patch being used now on heyyyhoooo screen, which is it shoots out a bunch of these projectiles that each individual projectile doesn't do much damage, but when you're shooting like 100, I think it's 108 of them total, they add up, obviously. And also you saw the use of the crystal seed there, which is it increases your damage, and that was a pretty clean fight from both of them. They're pretty much neck and neck there.
Also, one thing about the items is that we have a hidden item called the fairy. You could see in the last fight that there was like laser beams and like a small blue fairy there. It's a hidden item that you have since the start of the game, and you activate her by doing half of the Konami code: up, down, down, left, right.
Yeah, and so you can use that once per save. So these bells that you see sporadically are save points, and you'll notice in the top left where it shows our items, there's a 1 next to the crystal seed. That's how many times you can use that item before you have to save again. So every item has a limit to the amount of times you can use it before you have to hit a save bell. And the fairy is no different. You get 1 use of the fairy before you have to save again. In a lot of these Metroidvania style games, generally, you'll see like you won't save because saving is usually a time loss. But in this particular game, you have to save in order to refresh your items. So there are quite a few saves, which are most of them are thankfully like on the way to the bosses and stuff. Like they're not usually out of the way. But there are quite a few saves. Okay, so Doublestop got a dive. So this is the one boss fight where we don't have to worry about the item that we get because it's not useful to the run. So you'll see on heyyyhoooo's side, he just kind of face tanked any damage that he was going to take. Same thing with Doublestop, because we just don't need the item from that particular boss. It is the only boss in the game other than the final boss where it's fine to get hit. So after fighting that boss, we get our next upgrade. It was supposed to be a curse, but it turns out to be really good for us, which is
like the best blessing.
Yeah, we now get to turn into a cat, which is really good for just in terms of, hey, you're a cat now. And then we pretty much immediately get an item that lets us switch between human form and cat form. The cat form is overall faster, has a faster walking speed. The roll is a little different. I'll get to that. So the way the roll works for the cat is that after the actual initial roll, there's an animation delay. But we can use our attack to cancel that delay. So now our main movement speed tech is to do consistent roll jumps, canceling the ending animation with an attack, and just repeating that. So we're now doing back to back 1 frame inputs for our fastest movement method. The only time pretty much at this point where we're going to be human form is during boss fights, because we can't use any items when we're in cat form other than the cat sphere, and anytime we need to climb a ladder, because cats don't have opposable thumbs, therefore they can't climb ladders.
They could just, like, you know, be a cat.
Yeah. But yeah, so pretty much at any time where we're moving like horizontally, we're going to be cat. At any time we need to move vertically, which that requires a ladder, we're gonna have to turn into human. We'll see there's one area later on where there's just like a lot of form switching based around what we need to do at the time. Also, there was just a mini boss there. He's very easy. He dies to 2 sparse threads, which is the item we got from Fennel, which is Frida, sorry, which was the big bird-looking boss. It does an AOE like burst of damage around you. It's pretty strong, but can be a little risky just because it's a fairly close range attack. So again, these guys are moving so fast, so it's so hard to like explain everything. But you saw before they took a bit of a detour into the monastery in order to see one of the save bells, because what they're doing right now is going to get one of the crests. So there's 4 crests in this game we need to unlock the last area of the game, and each of the crests has a like an upgrade that you get with it. This particular crest that we just got now allows us to warp between the save bells. So they went into the monastery in order to unlock the save bell for the monastery, which is basically, this particular bell is like our main hub for the rest of the run, or for a good portion of the run. We'll come back to that bell multiple times every time we fight another boss, basically. Leading up into the final area. The first crest that we got after fighting Frida allows us to charge up our arrows faster. So there's 3 stages of like charge state for your arrow, which is like just the normal one where if you just tap it, you have the regular arrow. There's the half charge state, which increases the damage on your single arrow. And then there's a full charge state where you shoot 3 arrows at once. There will be an additional charge state that we'll unlock later, which allows you to shoot the 3 arrows individually as opposed to in a spread. But that's the last crest that we're going to get. So the boss we're fighting now is the arsonist. Pretty interesting boss fight. She has a lot of health, and we also have this helper character here named Kath. That was really good positioning for heyyyhoooo.
I know, right? Also, he controlled her movements really well.
Yeah. So this boss, because it's in such a wide room, but we need to be on the right side here for this door. And there's also a brief conversation afterwards with Kath, the helper character. Doublestop also got some really good positioning there. So basically, you want Kath to be as close to you as possible while also being on the right side of the door, so you can pick up the item and just go through the door as quickly as possible. Both runners got some pretty good positioning on that. And they also picked up the third crest, which gives us the air dash now. So now our it's obviously it's our fastest movement tech is the air dash, but there's a brief cooldown in between the air dashes. So doing the roll jump into the air dash gives the cooldown for the air dash just enough time to reset. So we now do roll jumps into air dash as our main form
getting
of movement.
pretty cool cat RNG right here. Just look at that.
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing the black cats, but
when I'm casting, like, since it's hard to see, I just make the count. Like, hey, there's 5 whites and I can't see other 2. They must be black cats.
Yeah. So we're against Fennel, which is the boss I accidentally said before. But she doesn't last very long. There's not really much to say about her, unfortunately.
Yeah, she's a pretty hard fight casually, actually.
Yeah,
but
casually she's probably one of the best boss fights in the game, but once you know how to beat her, she just goes down so fast.
And they both do like a strategy that I don't think anyone else actually go for, that only use one backman patch, which is even faster than the usual speed strat. It's like pretty impressive.
Yeah, so
No!
That's unfortunate for heyyyhoooo. When was the last time he saved? Oh, wait, was that before or after the boss?
The fight?
Well, either way, Doublestop's in the lead now.
Oh god. I think it was after he like paused to check the items to see if he got missive.
So the 4th crest was the crest that gave us the additional level of charge for our arrows. And it also allows us to unlock the final areas of the game. So this is the Royal Pina Colada or the Royal Pinecone City or whatever various names. So this area is the area I was talking about before, where there's a lot of switching back and forth between the forms. It just makes it like a really fun area to both run and I think watch. Doublestop is taking another detour to pick up an item which we're going to need later in order to unlock an upgrade for our melee attack, which is also required to get the good ending of the game, which is required for the any percent category, or all the categories rather, in order to actually have the run considered completed, because the game itself doesn't even register that the game is beaten unless you get the good ending.
Even with the dead, he's not too much behind.
Yeah, he's not that far behind. Doublestop coming up. Yeah. Doublestop coming up against probably the hardest boss in the game in terms of the speed run, which is this double fight against Lupier and Magnolia. He absolutely crushed it. But a lot of resets happen here. Or not necessarily resets, but like the item that you get from this boss is fairly important. You can finish a run without it, but it's really good to have against the final boss, because in order to do any of the quick kills against the final boss, you need the heavy arrows that you get from that boss fight. So now they're working their way through the Karst Castle, which that was sketchy. So if you look on Doublestop's screen, he's now using the Bachman patch to hit a switch to unlock a shortcut, which saves a good amount of time going through it. And then they're going to take one more detour in order to get the upgrade for the leaf, which you'll see on Doublestop's screen. He's coming up on. So there's this little like windmill here, which we need to use the sealed wind to unlock to go and to the bottom of the well and put our leaf inside some presumably holy water.
It's in order to, though.
Yeah, we're making leaf tea. So it gives us it gives our melee attack some extra damage, turns our leaf green, and allows us to get the good ending for the game, which it unlocks the third phase of the final boss, which is the phase we need in order to get the good ending. So pretty much at this point there's one more mini boss that we have to fight on the way, and then it's just the final boss. So yeah, and then there's we'll get to see Kathier one more time. We're gonna ignore her so she doesn't die, because if you talk to her, she dies.
She's just taking a nap now. She's like,
yeah,
she's just fine.
Yeah, so Doublestop coming up on the last mini boss, which is this angel. So this angel is pretty interesting. She creates clones of herself, but you can tell which one is the real clone based on the height that they're flying. The real one will be flying lower than the clones. There's also some other ways to tell which one is which, but I really just look for the height of the angels. If you hit the wrong one, then they shoot fish from the sky, which you just don't want. So we've got one last really long elevator trip to the top of this tower, and then pretty much we're at the boss now. So one last save, and then so both of them are equipped to do the quick kills, and both of these runners are very good at the quick kills. So I'm expecting them to get the quick kills, or you know, Doublestop can just miss the arrows right at the beginning.
It's way tighter than it looks, though. Like to get a quick kill.
Oh well, heyyyhoooo missed it as well. So both of these runners making a liar out of me by missing the quick kills. But Doublestop is through the second phase now, going on to the final phase. This boss, like, she hurts, but overall she's not too scary. All of her attacks are just the same, pretty much the same patterns. So once you know how to do it, she's pretty easy.
And GG for Doublestop.
Yeah, so Doublestop will finish with a 22:05, which is a really respectable time. And heyyyhoooo's not going to be too far behind. Which, again, considering he had that one death, that's the fact that he's only 15 minutes behind, or 15 seconds behind, is pretty good.
It's about the time of that Lubella dive Doublestop had, if you think about it.
But yeah, so that was the first race. So one thing, again, because these two runners are so just good at this game that, like, it's hard to keep up with everything, but going back to the fight against Partner Fennel, the item we got from her was the Tainted Missive, which what the Tainted Missive does is that for a short period of time, it doubles our attack, but at the cost of a fixed amount of our health. So it's pretty interesting because you can, like, obviously you want to use it in order to get the extra damage, but sometimes if you're careful, you can kill yourself on it, which people have done in the past, and it's kind of hilarious.
It's quite sad. There's also one pretty interesting thing about the missive is that how we use that in bosses, because we use before getting into the fight, so we get the buff for a certain amount of time and not lose the item for getting damage. Because if you use the missive, you lose the item for the boss, because that's still damage, just like the poison.
So we're just gonna do a quick little reset here for our second race.
There was a duck there in the credits. Is that you, Ducky?
No.
Oh.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the second race is like, because I'm pretty sure that if heyyyhoooo didn't take that dive into the spikes, he would have won that. So yeah, I guess we'll see how the second race goes.
And hopefully the third race.
Yeah, I would love to see a third race. That'd be amazing.
And they have the potential to do that. Like, they are both world record holders for this game, like in different categories. So it's just like top level.
Yeah, this is pretty much, so this is the first and third seeds of our tournament. But at the time when the tournament started, heyyyhoooo was the third seed, but then with like he's just been grinding it out so much that I'm pretty sure that he's actually like, I think his PBs are better than who our second seed was going into the tournament. But like the top level of this game is so close together. Oh. There we go. I accidentally unplugged my headphones.
The difference between the newest patch and the old one is that you can now heal with like the item you get from playing on easy mode and still get the item. Like,
Yeah, okay,
if you
so
hurt yourself, you still like lose it.
Yeah, so we are actually playing on a patch before what is the current patch, because it is slightly slower, but also because the tournament started on the old patch, is the main reason why I made the decision to do that. But the so one of the big changes in the new patch is, so the way it worked up until the most recent patch is that any change in your health, both healing or damage, would prevent you from being able to get the boss drop. But it's now been changed so that you can heal and still get the boss drop, but if you take damage, you don't get the boss drop, including damaging yourself with Tainted Missive or poisoning yourself. Which is a nice change, and I'm kind of surprised it took this long for it to be put into effect, but
even then, it was pretty nice that like Arden is not like the biggest dev in terms of like popularity or something. Like, he's a small indie dev, and like he took the time to make this patch like years after the launch of the game. Like, I can respect that.
yeah, and then he was gracious enough. I can't remember who it was that got into touch with him regarding the patch differences, and he put the patch before the current patch in as a beta, so we can just switch to the beta for this game, and it's the previous patch, which was very nice of him, and eternally grateful for that.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're just having a quick bathroom break here.
And during that time, heyyyhoooo was practicing his queen strats.
Yeah, because he looks like he's gonna practice the quick kill here now on Idea.
Also, those save slots are quite cool. I wonder who was the person in the 4th slot though.
I have no idea. Also, hopefully Doublestop remembers to reset his timer.
Yeah, this is important.
I reminded him.
Who do you think of them two is the best Slap City player?
I haven't seen either of them play, so I wouldn't know.
Hmm.
All right, so we're about to get the second race started. And yeah, let's hope that we can get a third race, because more Momodora is always good.
Yeah, more cats. I think like this game has so many details, like just small things that are like so nice, like the cat RNG, the jellyfish, like so much cool stuff.
The Golden Bachman.
The Golden Bachman. It's been a while since I actually saw that.
I think there's been one in this entire tournament. So yeah, so we got the second race going now. Again, there's not much to say that hasn't already been said. It'll just be interesting to see, because for the most part, both of the runs were pretty clean, except for heyyyhoooo's one death. And I really think that was the decider of the last race.
Yeah.
So let's hope that doesn't happen this time. It's making it through the RNG forest. It's not too bad on easy, because there's a lot less imps compared to hard and insane.
I really respect people that play this game on insane. Like,
yeah, I've never done it.
Imagine like dodging every single wimp in the history of this game. One thing about insane mode is like it spawns way more enemies than normal. Also, you have like only 1 health. If you take a hit from like anything, you die instantly. So it's pretty scary.
Yep, 90% of insane runs don't leave the forest. Or the grove, sorry.
It's kind of a forest, even though it's a grove.
Yeah. Oh, Hale picking up an ivory bug. So ivory. Yeah, I think that just put Doublestop in the. I don't know. They're like neck and neck now because of that. And again, heyyyhoooo has 79 money.
There you go.
Yeah, so ivory bugs are like invisible collectibles in this game, which are required for our for the other category, the AVIB category. But anyways, let's see if they get okay. Oh, no. So heyyyhoooo got dancing a day again and missed the quick kill. Doublestop got the quick kill. So that's gonna save him a ton of time. So for the quick kill, there's actually 2 methods of doing it. For most of the tournament, everyone's been doing the safe method, which is a little bit slower. There's a less safe method where if you fail the quick kill, you get hit, but it also saves some extra time.
It's like half a second, right? The safe and then safe. It's about that.
It's a little bit more than that, but it's not. I mean, when you're at the level that these guys are at, then you know a second or 2 is pretty big. Yeah. But yeah. So Doublestop into Mocha again. See if Mocha plays nice. He's playing pretty nice right now. So Mocha has 3 attack animations, and the one you don't want to see is what I call the Toho pattern, which is the one that Doublestop just got, because it is very slow.
But this one is the one like that is most manageable. Like, the ball is probably the worst because of the curse and because you need to stop attacking Mocha. Like, what they usually do is that they hit through those balls so they disappear and then they just go back into hitting Mocha. But when there's that like giant ball, you can just like you can go close to Mocha. You need to jump over the ball, and then Mocha can jump onto you, and it's pretty sad. But yeah, Mocha's
okay, so... Sorry, Doublestop didn't get any dives. heyyyhoooo unfortunately just got a dive, so that's gonna be another pretty big time loss. But like there's a little bit of RNG in this game that like can be really affecting to the run, but it's not as bad as some other games, which is, you know, nice.
It's pretty manageable.
But both of them got through the fight pretty quickly, other than the one dive for heyyyhoooo, which is not the worst thing that could happen. She could dive multiple times if she really hates you that day.
Yeah, and then she can.
Sorry, go ahead.
She can even like double dive during the first fight and during the revenge.
Yeah.
Like...
One thing we didn't talk about in the first race is this grave area. It is mostly underwater, which does affect your movement in some ways. Walk speed is significantly cut down, but your roll speed is still the same. So it's even faster here to roll than normal. And you also get an infinite amount of jumps while you're underwater. They also took a detour to pick up a key, which is needed to unlock a couple doors, which, again, is just used to cut down travel time that you would normally have to take. And then, yeah, so at that point, once they get the key, they'd make their way towards Frida. Also, these bats that are spawning are jerks, like most bat enemies in games.
They truly are. Like, they always spawn like on the opposite direction. Like, if you came from the right, they will spawn on the left, but their height will be like completely random. So they sometimes just ignore you, sometimes they hit you like they just did with Doublestop right now.
Yeah, again, we're on easy mode, so they're just a minor inconvenience, but on insane, they are instant death like everything else. So for the Frida fight, there's actually multiple ways to fight her. There's the method that both Doublestop and heyyyhoooo do, which is getting right up to her and meleeing her. It's significantly faster, but a lot more dangerous, as opposed to the safe method, which is to crouch in the corner and spam arrows at her, which is what I do. It's slower, but it's safer.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of the strategies in this game in terms of the boss fights. It's a very like risk reward type thing. Also, the another shortcut there that Doublestop just took, which is baiting that Mocha to throw a bomb at the wall, which breaks the bomb. It is rarely possible for him to throw a bomb when you're on your way up to the Frida fight, and he'll break the wall for you there, which is just like, it's really nice when it happens, but it's so rare when it happens. I think with the way that the both these runners make it through this area, it's I don't think he even gets a chance to throw a bomb because they just go so fast. Yeah, sorry, it's a Bachman, not a Mocha. Mocha is a Bachman, but Bachmans aren't Mocha. So one thing that you probably just saw Doublestop do there is he activated the crystal bead and then hit the save point, which allows him to get a little bit of extra time off of the crystal. Not that he needed the second crystal, because he just went through that fight so fast. Didn't get any dives, which was nice. And yeah, so now he has become cat. We'll see if heyyyhoooo gets some good RNG this time, because I believe he got a dive on this fight last. Or no, it was Doublestop got the dive last time.
Yeah, but
heyyyhoooo also got a dive on the first fight, but it doesn't look like he's gonna get one this time. So that's gonna help him not fall as far behind than he already is. Yeah.
Now both of them have the Lubella's Blessing, which is becoming a cat.
Yes. Taking the elevator back up to the monastery. Yeah, there's a pretty big drought between Lubella and the next boss, which is just like there's a lot happening obviously because now we're having to do the roll jumps constantly, which every time you mess up a roll jump, that's time lost. But it's mostly just movement, and like a lot of this game, like we've been talking a lot about the boss fights and like the RNG there and of the boss fights and whatnot, but like a lot of the time saves you'll get on this game is just having clean movement. You know, if you're really clean with your roll jumps and you don't, you know, get caught up on corners and stuff like that, you'll just save a bunch of time just through that.
Yeah. Like, boss fights really help you saving time, since, like, you know, you can use items and strategies, but most of the time you won't be fighting, you will be moving. And it's also quite interesting through the run, since we have so many different forms of movement. Like, we just start by rolling or roll jumping, then we have like cat with roll jumps with cancels, and then we have like roll jumps with cancels with air dashes. Like, it evolves quite nicely. It's like, it's pretty cool how crazy movement can get in this game.
Yeah. And like obviously like the shortcuts help a lot too in terms of cutting down time. Yeah, so it's if you ever decide to pick up this game, don't discount how much time you can save just from having clean movement.
Also, in case you're interested, we have a Discord server for this game. Like, we have some cool guides on how to do stuff. The community is amazing, and we have cat pictures, which is the best part of the Discord.
Yes. So Doublestop getting the warp shard. So he's going to be moving on to our little boss gauntlet here. So that character that you see on the right side of the of that save bell, that's actually also a boss. She's the bonus boss in the game. You don't fight her in this category, but there is another category where you do fight her. She's another pretty interesting boss fight casually. Probably the hardest boss fight casually. But again, like pretty much every boss in this game, there are methods. So Doublestop is on the arsonist again. So we'll see if he gets good placement, which is probably like there's not much you can do to save time on this boss fight. Well, there are, but like just having good placement is always really nice.
I think it's more about like baiting her into teleporting, so you can use melee attacks by staggering her, like trying to do that as much as you can. But even then, you won't be saving like that much compared to just like shooting.
Yeah. So yeah, the one thing is that like if at least in terms of like first starting out, if you're like a little iffy about her attack patterns, one trick you can do is anytime she's off screen, she will teleport. So if you want like a pretty simple way of fighting her, is just make sure she's off screen so that you can force the teleport. It's slower, but safer. Doublestop got like pretty much like perfect placement for that boss fight, where like everything was just like right next to each other. heyyyhoooo got pretty good placement. Could be a little bit better, but
look at those cats. Like, this is a pretty good cat RNG. And the cat talked to us. Oh my god, this run is blessed.
Didn't get a PB jellyfish though.
But the cat. Imagine a run where you have like the cat's blessing and the jellyfish blessing. Like, that would be forbidden.
So the reason why we go and see this this witch with the cats is because she gives us a key that lets us get to this top area to fight Fennel. Didn't explain that before. Yeah, there's just so much happening so fast.
Yeah, like they are way too fast. They need to like stop and slow down for a while.
Yeah, give us some time to explain things. But anyways, Doublestop now has all the crests he needs to go into the next area. He's on a pretty good pace right now.
I wonder if he's actually in PP pace.
I have no idea. It would be crazy if he was.
And there you go, the pterodactyl.
Yeah, I like the Royal Pina Colada myself.
Royal Pina Colada is pretty great. Oh, by the way, that Illuminati triangle right there is YV from the game Nuclear Throne.
I really like watching this area be a run. It's just so fun to watch.
And their movement is so clean.
Yeah, we say as Doublestop takes a dive into a painting. But yeah, so Doublestop got the sealed win now. So now he's more or less set up for the end game. Just has to go and get there. So one thing you'll notice about this this particular fight is they start their first Bachman patch before actually entering the fight, which they do to. Oh, he got hit.
Oh,
that's
no. Unfortunate. Look, Pierre, why?
So he's gonna have to finish this fight without heavy arrows, which is fine. It just means if he was on PB pace, he's probably not PBing now, because the time loss for not having heavy arrows is pretty, like, it's not game changing, but it's enough.
At their level, it's pretty much like impossible to PB like without heavy arrows, I guess, because it's like 15 seconds.
Yeah, which means if heyyyhoooo can get the heavy arrows, there is a chance for him to be able to make up that lost time. Because he's not too far behind, and he does get the heavy arrows. It's fine that he got poisoned, because the way that the game reads it is if you take damage while there are boss health bars on the screen, then it counts. But because he got poisoned after the health bar disappeared, he was fine. So he managed to get the heavy arrows, and Doublestop didn't get the heavy arrows. So for as far apart as it seems they are right now, there is still a chance for heyyyhoooo to make it up. It will be really tight and really hard, but it is possible.
Anything can happen. Also, the end of the castle has so many spikes, and like it's quite hard sometimes.
Yeah, that is one thing. So we are playing on easy, which is obviously the easiest way to play the game. But regardless of your difficulty, spikes are instant death. So even on easy, spikes are a problem. Which we saw in the first race, but didn't point it out before. So. Yeah, both our runners have the have their leaf upgrade now. Doublestop making his way up to the ferry. And then heyyyhoooo's not too far behind.
I'm trying to to time the difference between them both, but I just I can't think about how much time they are apart from each other.
Yeah, Doublestop just got some good RNG on the ferry there, because she can spawn in multiple areas, including to the very right of the screen, which is obviously the slowest because you have to walk towards her. But yeah, she's not too hard to kill, which is nice.
One cool thing about the clone angel is that it wasn't intentional for the true angel be at a lower height than the clone. It was it happened by mistake, and when the developer of this game discovered that, he was watching someone playing this, and he was like, "Hey, how do you always know which one is the real one?" It was pretty weird.
Yeah, but he left it in because it's it doesn't break the game or anything.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feature, to be honest.
Yeah. So Doublestop having to do backup strats. Which are obviously a little bit slower, but I think he might be fine at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Unless he dies to the last phase, which is entirely possible.
The last phase, since it's always the same attacks in the same order, it's it's way, I don't know. It's way more manageable, I think. But yeah, anything can happen.
But it's not going to be too much of a time difference. But yeah, so that's gonna be the second win for Doublestop, he's gonna take the tournament. But heyyyhoooo again, not that far behind.
And this was a 21 without heavy arrows.
Yeah,
this is just insane. There are only 3 people in the community that actually got a 21, and GG heyyyhoooo.
Yeah, and again, he's not too far behind. It's about 20 seconds. But yeah, so it's unfortunately that we're not going to get a third game, but those were both phenomenal races. Both of them were around or under 22. Which again is exactly what I expected from, the top echelon of runners from this game.
It was just completely amazing. It's always cool to watch the way they play and the way they adapt. I think it's one skill that you must have to play this game and listen to a tournament, and you need to adapt since you can reset in case something bad happens. It's pretty cool. Hey, you got hit by Lupiar, for example, you need to do without heavy arrows. You need to continue, it doesn't matter what happens to your run.
Yeah, all right. So we're gonna do some interviews with our final two. I think we'll start with heyyyhoooo this time. So welcome.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, it was a loss today, but there were still very good races. So yeah, I guess, but no, yeah, they were good. So yeah, I guess, what are your thoughts on how you did?
Let me remember. So the first one was okay, I think, until I died. And the second one was just, it was not good from the get-go. Like, it was plus 40 after the Bella one. Like, what are you supposed to do after that?
Yeah, well, you didn't. Overall, the race wasn't as far apart as it necessarily seemed. Going into that last fight, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you made it to the finals, which, you know, that's obviously is nothing to sneeze at. But yeah, I think overall, like, I thank you very much for entering the tournament. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was quite fun.
All right. And I guess now we'll get some words from our winner, which was Doublestop.
Hello.
Hello. So congratulations for winning this tournament. I think you probably were the favorite going into it just based on seeding. But you never know what happens with these things, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of RNG, so in the races with people that have closer PBs, it could go either way just based on like dives or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, do you have any thoughts about your win or the tournament or just in general?
I'm happy with how I played, considering I haven't had much time to play lately. So I thought it was going to be a lot worse. But
Doublestop. Since you won the tournament, you won like the best prize ever. That is deciding who is the best girl of Momodora.
so now officially the best girl is Katjar, the cat lady.
Oh yes, you're a good person.
Thank you.
I'm okay with this.
And by extension, that means all her cats are also best girl.
Okay, you deserve this, but you deserve that.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know what else to say. Again, thank you very much for participating in this tournament. Obviously, without the actual runners for the tournament would never have happened. I'm very happy that you know, everything turned out as well as it did, and everyone seemed to enjoy the tournament.
Yeah, thank you for organizing it. It's been fun. It seems like a lot of new people have come and joined the community because of it, so that's always cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope, you know, in the future, if I do organize another one, that you'll join that one as well. So
Yeah, probably. I think we should have a bingo tournament.
that would be interesting.
Oh, please no.
Well, anyways, I guess once again, I want to just, you know, thank all of the runners in the tournament. I want to thank Speed Gaming, obviously, for hosting the tournament and helping with the organization of like the streaming and whatnot. Thank you everyone who watched it, and all of the new players that have picked up the game for it. There, I believe there's a link to the Discord in the bot commands. If anyone wants to join, come say hi. You know, we're a pretty chill group of people. Always open to new runners and any questions and whatnot. And yeah, so this is the last race that for this tournament, but I'm sure in the future we're gonna try to run some more stuff. So I hope, you know, if we do run anything else, you guys will come back and watch that, and, you know, help support just, you know, speed running in general, and just, you know, having the smaller communities, you know, getting some like recognition and like whatnot is always just nice because like there really is like there's a game for everyone out there. It's not necessarily have to be, you know, a lot of the bigger games that you see all the time. So yeah.
Oh, there's one thing I completely forgot during this whole stream. Did you know Kaho is actually the new Super Nanny?
Is she?
Yeah, she is. She is. She needs to take care of all like literally all the little imps and Mocha and the Backmans and like every single thing in this game. She's like literally the new Super Nanny.
And Scooby-Doo, as we figured
And
out
Scooby-Doo.
last time.
Yeah.
Just so
She's
you know.
like Kaho is amazing.
All right, then yeah, so again, so make sure you check out all of the other speed gaming channels for various stuff that they're doing. There's some Super Metroid randomizer happening on Speed Gaming 2. There's I believe that they said that the finals for the Ori and the Blind Forest randomizer is happening later today, which is obviously that's always fun to watch. And yeah, just always keep watching speed gaming for great speedrunning content. And I think with that, we should probably sign out.
Oh, you're right.
All right. So yeah, again, thank you for tuning in, and you know, enjoy the rest of the content that you're gonna get today.